I enjoy the first one, God's Not Dead, which came out in 2014, starring Kevin Sorbo, and part two of God's Not Dead. It's starring with Melissa Joan Hart, Jesse Metcalf, and the list goes on and on. And despite what the critics say, I like this movie. I like the part two. I like the first one more, but the second one is also good as well. And there's also part three and a part four to God's Not Dead. So part two is about a high school history teacher, Grace Wesley, played by Melissa Joan Hart, comes under fire for answering a student's question about Jesus. When Grace refuses to apologize, the school board votes to suspend her and threatens to revoke her teaching certificate. And there were so many scenes in this movie that really pissed me off because I'm a man of faith, and I felt that they were trying to make an example out of her. I felt that it was completely blown out of proportion. These are very these are people that are super anti-Christ. They don't want to hear the word Jesus in school. I got how can I say, watching the movie, it irritated me, but at the same time I had to remind myself this is the price that you have to pay for when you follow Jesus, when you when you're in a spiritual journey. These are the things you have to go through. It's not gonna be pretty, but you're gonna have to remain strong. You're gonna have to remain faithful to Him. Robin Gibbs is in this movie. She's one of those characters that I'm not a fan of. So Grace Wesley, who she takes care of her father, she lives with her father, and obviously teaching, is her livelihood. She depends a lot of her income on that. But what I love about her character is that she doesn't waver, she doesn't fold. She prays to God, she talks to Him about everything that's bothering her. She does not let whatever the school board tells her to backpedal. She remains loyal, she remains true to the word of the Bible, to the word of God. So, forced to stand trial to save her career, Grace hires young lawyer Tom Endler, played by Jesse Metcalf. Jesse Metcalf, the first time I saw him was in John Tucker Must Die, and I always remember him for that movie. But when I saw him in this particular movie, his performance was flat out sensational. So he's a lawyer. He defends her in court. And at first, when they met, it wasn't. They didn't get off to the right foot. It wasn't a good start. But you saw when you watch this movie, you see the transformation. You see the growth of him as a young lawyer, a guy who hates to lose, even though he's not experienced in terms of defending someone who is a Christian, who's a person of faith. But when it comes to the law, he hates losing. So Tom, he comes up with this powerful strategy to show the jury the historical significance of Grace Wesley's classroom discussion. So again, you have to see this movie. It is great. In this movie, there's so many fantastic actors. Like, yes, you have Melissa Joan Hart and Jesse Metcalf, who were really the X factors of this movie, but I feel like the other actors who were just as important in terms of supporting role, I would say Ray Wise, he played as Peter Kane. He's the ultimate antagonist of this movie. Trisha she plays Amy Ryan. She was also in the first movie as well. And David A.R. White, he portrays as Pastor Dave. He's also in the first part of God's Not Dead, and he's also in the third one as well. I haven't seen the fourth one yet, so I have to see. But Ernie Hudson, he plays as Judge Stennis, I think that's how you pronounce it, and he does a great job playing as the judge in this movie as well. But the court scenes in this movie are great. The performances is the number one thing that I love the most about this movie. Well, take that back. That's the second thing that I love the most. The first, obviously, the themes. Any movie that talks about Jesus, that puts him in a positive light, that gives it just a powerful, profound theme, message of the story. That's the I'm already sold. That's the number one thing that I love. And then the second thing is the performances from this cast. My review for God's Not Dead from 1 through 5, I give it a respectable 3.9 out of 5 stars. It's on Tubi, by the way, so check it out. All 4 parts of the movie, it's on Tubi, so I highly recommend it.